Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
I'm John Cena Sr.
We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we have something else for you to be thankful for. Our brand new Wrestling Insiders, Fabulous Fridays, is next. Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive explodes into Christmas with 12 featured superstar guests. We can't bring you a live wrestling event due to COVID restrictions, but we'll be bringing you a series of cyber signings and meet and greets. On Friday night, December the 4th, fans around the corner and around the world can join a man involved in an intercontinental title scandal as Zelina Vega, as well as the man under the mask, is martial arts expert Quang, joins us for a live cyber autograph signing here at MWF Studios. Get a personalized autograph photo from Savio, signed live on the air and mailed to your home. Join us now through mid-December as the superstars help us continue our mission to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house this Christmas and put smiles on faces while honoring Paul Bearer's memory. VIP packages are still available. Don't worry, if you've missed a live superstar signing, every star is signing enough photos while they're here in Boston to fill VIP packages through December the 19th. Whether for your wrestling collection or to give as a holiday gift, if you're going to take part in any toy drive this year, please help our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. Visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms for complete event and toy drive information.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, Johnny, I hope you had a good turkey day yesterday, even if sometimes you may be a turkey.
Wow. I thought that we had passed that part of our lives.
Well, we've had a very interesting 15 years.
Yes,
we're going to be talking about an anniversary in a moment, but we went from being peers to sometimes friends, sometimes enemies. We've verbally attacked each other. We've physically attacked each other. Someone tried to corrupt another one's company, but you know what? At the end of the day, we were spending Thanksgiving afternoon together to spread some cheer to our great fans out there like Slick Rick, Tina, Maria Davis and her Pittsburgh Steelers, who are off the charts this year, our new friend Vaughn, all of the Kevins, Big Ant from the Thunder Valley, Ken, Larson, Will Cortez.
What happened to Barbie? You got Ken in there.
Well, I don't know. We don't got a Barbie yet.
We don't got a Barbie yet?
Barbie I know. You don't want to talk about that one.
All right.
All right, Johnny. It's been 15 years of you here in the Boston Wrestling, as we noted not too long ago. But what about this Sunday night, the big one, from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida? Forget about 15 years. We can do double that. 30 years of The Undertaker.
The end is here.
The final farewell.
He says,
again.
Yeah, again. You know what?
It's like one of those Friday the 13th movies.
It's Groundhog Day.
It's
Groundhog Day. Yes, he's coming back. Just keeps coming back. And you're right. Just when you think Jason is about to finally die, you see him come right back up again, and it starts all over. I really and truly believe that this gentleman, and I mean gentleman, a tremendous, tremendous human being, great knowledge of this business, will never be done with this business. He has so much to contribute and so much to give. I certainly hope the rumors I hear are true, that he's talking with Paul Levesque, Triple H, and he's going to be down at NXT. He could do wonders down there for these young people coming in. What's the surprise going to be? I don't know.
There's a surprise advertised.
All he said is, I'm going to be there. What I'm going to do, Kane's going to be there. We got some other people that are going to be surprised.
Zelina Vega, a gentleman that's going to be joining us for the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive.
You got the Godfather's going to be there.
Kane, yeah.
I can just see some great things happening. I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of tears that night, a lot of joy that night, to finally hear the gong for the last time. Maybe.
Potentially.
Well, you know what? Knowing The Undertaker, he doesn't stay dead for long.
Well, do you want to know what I would do, Johnny, if they were in a creative rut and they needed to call me on the phone?
Excuse me. Cheers.
What I would do is this, Johnny. I'm sure WWE has a much better idea than we do what their limitations are going to be for WrestleMania in 2021. We did a program on that recently on the Friday Night Talk Show, but I would like to see them have this great, tremendous ceremony, almost like what they did with Ric Flair the day after WrestleMania 24 down in Orlando. I believe you were there for that one. But where we live in different times right now, obviously there won't be fans there to soak in the emotion of the night at the Undertaker's final farewell at Survivor Series. What if, just as the gong is set to go off after this, whatever type of ceremony they put together, someone, a young hotshot with a big set of balls comes out and they say, Undertaker, I think you got one more in you. WrestleMania 37 is around the corner. You got 6 months to train, brother. You think you can pull it off, old man? I think that would make for a hell of a send-off. An actual retirement match for the fans to be prepared for and enjoy. Then they get two for the price of one.
I don't like that idea.
You don't like the idea
I do
of it.
not like that idea.
You don't think he should come
like
back for WrestleMania 37?
I don't like your storyline
No.
at all.
All right, well.
No, I don't think that's the way to send this gentleman off. I think
To
he's...
give him an actual retirement match. You don't think that's it?
I don't think there's any more retirement matches.
But he never had one.
But he doesn't need... He was retired when Brock Lesnar took the belt.
That was it.
When Lesnar took it, that was the end of The Undertaker. Say what you want, Mark. Say what you want, Vince, Brock, Paul Heyman. Say what you want. My buddy, your buddy, our buddy, Paul, always used to say, Paul Bearer would say, the streak never should end. They ended it. That was the worst thing they could have ever done. Whoever wrote it, I guess it was written, I guess it was going to be done, regardless of the injury that The Undertaker sustained. That did more damage, in my opinion, to the character and to the whole persona that The Undertaker represented. You want to beat him somewhere else. Not on the big stage.
Just not on that night.
Not on the big stage. So to give him a retirement match, look, this gentleman has been banged up, bruised up, hips replaced. I think it's time.
Shoulder.
And I think The Undertaker, Mark, is correct when he says, I don't think it's ever going to be over, but I'm tired of the travel, tired of the routine.
Well, I mean, how much travel do you get when you're on the road for 2 or 3 appearances a year? I mean, you're not talking about exhausting travel.
I know. Cena was on the road 325 days a year.
Well,
That's a lot.
that's what I mean. It's slimmed down a little bit for the past 10 years.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is he has a family now. He has something they didn't have before. I think that right now he's going to end up being like Austin, The Rock. He'll make these special appearances. But to say there's one more, you know what? The problem when you say there's one more, there's always one more. So
there
my
needs to
thing
be a
is,
period at the end of the sentence.
if you're going to end it, end it. If this is the retirement, retire. Now, it does not mean that somewhere down the line, Uncle Vince will come out with an idea to raise the dead. That might be the end of Survivor Series, where he gets buried. It's the end.
Well, do you want to know why I think there will be one more match? That man right there, because I tell you this, I go back probably now 2012 to a lunch we had at the Cauliflower Alley Club in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he told me Undertaker had an idea of how he wanted it to end. And maybe a small part of it took place when he had that Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, but it was not down to the details that he had wanted for it. So until I see what Paul Bearer described to me, I'm going to believe there is one more match. And to be honest, I think WWE is nuts not to have promoted a retirement match. Let's say this is the end on Sunday. There are no more Undertaker matches. I think they're insane that they didn't promote a retirement match for the man. That's mucho dinero, baby.
You know what? Sometimes you got to understand there are more important things in life than money. I think you got the wrong track here. It's like all these people out there that think money is the beginning and the end all. It's like these people that are going to pay $1,800 and $2,000 for these foolish PlayStations that after Christmas will be all over the place. You know what? there reaches a point in life when you look at the reality of the fact that wrestling does have an end to it, that you do have another life. And I think The Undertaker is at that point. And you know what? I don't think you're going to see another match.
All right, let me eliminate money altogether. Do you think it would have been better for the enjoyment of the fans and the legacy of The Undertaker for them to promote one final battle, one final war?
Well, let me ask
because
you,
I do.
But let me ask you a question.
Forget about the financial aspect of it, just from a pure enjoyment. I would love for there to have been an announced Undertaker retirement match where it actually is the retirement match. Have him come back in the future to do choke slams and tombstones in interview segments and whatnot, if you will. But I would like to have seen one last Undertaker vendetta, one last storyline, one last match with a period at the end of the sentence. But that's me.
No, because my question to you is, what's going to happen at Survivor Series? You don't know, do you?
I have no idea.
No, you have no idea
I like
at all.
my idea, though.
So, well, I don't think
You
Vince
hate
does.
my
Otherwise,
idea.
you wouldn't, you wouldn't be sitting here. You might be over there.
Stiff,
you know what?
brother.
So all I can say is this: who knows what's going to happen at Survivor Series? Nobody. Period. This is very secretive right now. It's like when they snuck in somebody to a wrestling match. None of the boys knew. Nobody knew. He was there, but nobody knew it. So you know what? Let's just wait and see what happens Sunday. Let's just wait and see if there is a retirement or maybe the big match. Who knows? Brother against brother. The Fiend gets involved. Who knows? Who knows? Nobody. And you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised. I mean, my gimmick is funny. It's probably stupid. I've been criticized and beat up by you-know-who. But you know what? Wouldn't it be great if we found out that the Fiend was the Undertaker's illegitimate son? And
illegitimate son?
Well, you know, we're going to have some fun with this thing. I mean, I'm thinking like Paul Heyman would think. If the Fiend was somehow connected physically to the Undertaker, and all of a sudden he becomes the new phenom managed by his father, the Undertaker. What a great gimmick.
Well, I'll say this. Wouldn't it have been something, and I hate these cinematic matches, as the cool kids call them, but I think there would have been potential to do something between Undertaker and Fiend.
They missed the boat on that.
That would have been one of the few that I would have enjoyed, I think.
I'm telling you, they missed the boat. They really did. You know, everybody hates me when I said it. You hate me for saying it. And it shouldn't have been at WrestleMania, period. But when he lost, it should have been to the Fiend. The Fiend has that earned. I've got the whole world in my hands. Undertaker sank into the ring. Smoke. Up it comes. He's there. And all of a sudden, the lightning bolt hits the urn. And we get, I will not rest in peace. Boom! Man, what a storyline. It's on. It's on. The two phenoms going against each other. But you know what? For some reason, I haven't figured it out yet, the writers, I don't really think understand what the hell's going on. This stuff about Drew McIntyre just ripped out somebody's eye. Rey Mysterio...
No, Seth Rollins ripped the eye out.
Well, whoever it was, I thought Drew McIntyre ripped an eye out, too, at the end of the show.
No, it was Seth Rollins.
Well, but
he
guess
ripped the
what?
eye out.
But it was Drew McIntyre also. He did Rey Mysterio. Drew McIntyre did
He
a
ripped someone's eye out, too? Oh, I didn't know that.
So my whole thing is I sit back and say, you know what?
It's a lot of eyes popping.
All I know is, Vince, where the hell are we going with this? It just doesn't make any sense. We're back to that weird... Is it Paul Heyman? Is it Vince McMahon? Is it Paul Levesque, Vince McMahon, and Paul Heyman? I don't know. But you know what, folks? Let's get back to real wrestling. Let's have extended title runs. Let's have something we can sit down and talk about.
Preach, baby.
I'm not preaching. I can't preach. Vince McMahon, and believe me, I may talk this, that, Paul Levesque, Paul Heyman. I'm talking about three geniuses in the world of professional wrestling. And I seriously mean that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't.
I think maybe sometimes what it boils down to is they're almost trying too hard.
Yes.
They're trying to reignite an attitude era or an 80s boom, when sometimes in life you just have to preach pacing and patience. They have to take time to develop new superstars. And it doesn't happen overnight.
And you're right. They do not have any superstars.
They have
right
zero
now.
superstars.
And they will
right
never,
now.
and I said this in the last couple
All
of
right,
shows,
what do we got?
and I will say it again. They will never, ever, ever have the man or the woman. They will
Well, they
never.
did have the man, but she's having a baby now.
Well, there's another thing that really bothers me. I mean, why do we have to have the baby bump? You know what? I don't know what's going on here. Seth
Well, you know
Rollins-
what? Why didn't they wait for the baby bump until after the women's championship title was dropped? But that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't know.
You
I
know
think
what?
you do right by the business that did right by you, but that's one man's
So
opinion.
now we're going to stand there and see her and Seth Rollins with a baby bump.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that?
done.
You know what?
Hopefully he
We're
won't-
going off the deep end, folks.
Hopefully he won't poke the baby's eye out.
We're going off the deep end. That's all I'm going to tell
All
you.
right, wrestling fans, right now we're going to take a brief time out. We come back, we're going to talk a little bit more current events. Stand by. The 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fan Fest is ongoing now through December the 13th. Get all the 411 now.
Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive explodes into Christmas with 12 featured superstar guests. We can't bring you a live wrestling event due to COVID restrictions, but we'll be bringing you a series of cyber signings and meet and greets. On Saturday, December the 5th, fans around the corner and around the world can get nasty with former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags, the Nasty Boys, joining us for a live cyber autograph signing here at MWF Studios. Get a personalized autograph from the Nasty Boys, signed to you live on the air and mailed to your home. Join us now through mid-December as superstars help us continue our annual mission to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house this Christmas, put smiles on faces while honoring Paul Bearer's memory. VIP packages are still available. Don't worry. If you missed a live superstar signing, every star is signing enough photos while they're here in Boston to fill VIP packages through December the 19th. Whether for your wrestling collection or to give as a holiday gift, if you're going to take part in any toy drive this year, please help our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. Visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms for complete event and toy drive information.
All right, Johnny, welcome back. Very interesting segment on The Undertaker. Trying to hit two birds with one stone this week on this show, where there are so many interesting current events going on right now. The fans wanted to know, we discussed Andrew Yang in a recent episode. What do you think of the release of the lovely, young Zelina Vega from WWE, who was vocal of her support of the U word, so to speak?
And that wasn't a woman's product, the U word. That was union. That's why probably she got released. I've had debates with you on this before. I think that was a mistake. Very talented young lady. I think if they released her because they had too much talent or had no storyline for her, I think that's justification for the release. But if you release a person because of their belief in something, that really is suppression. And I think sometimes you're better off to let people speak. And if nobody pays attention, or if they pay attention, look, I'm going to be right up front. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. Because I'm going to be right up front again, like me or not, and I'm sure there are a lot of them out there that don't like me. Maybe the guy at the top doesn't like me, Vince. But you know what? They are employees. John Cena Sr., if I were under contract, couldn't wrestle for BostonWrestling.com without your blessing or a release to the one match. I technically am controlled by you where I work, when I work, how many days I work, etc. And I'm not arguing that. I think he's smart to do what he's doing, but you got to find a different way to do it in order. I know because when I had my real estate appraisal business, the IRS was on me. They thought I had employees, till I said to them, no, this is nobody's desk. What do you mean? I said, look, his purse right here. Where do you work? I work for John and 3 other appraisers. Really? They're under contract to me, but they're able to go and do whatever it is they want to do. So I think that somewhere, sometime, it's going to happen. These people are going to organize because not everybody is treated fairly along the line. Ultimately, I think it'll happen. if they released her because of that situation, I think they lost a tremendous talent.
Well, SAG has released a statement saying they're very interested in letting the world of professional wrestling into the Screen Actors Guild Union, which would certainly be very interesting for WWE as far as how their presentation goes and how their contracts are structured going forward. I think it's just, Johnny, it's either time to treat them as employees or they have to give them more freedom outside of the auspices of their WWE live wrestling events. Because if you look at how they're contracted, they are contracted to appear on WWE live wrestling events. As long as they meet that contract stipulation, every other endeavor in life should be at their discretion, I would think.
Or if you're going to make them solo contractors, pay them more money, pick up more expenses, give them health benefits. You know,
The 401k.
Yeah, that'll turn them into employees, unfortunately, if you do that.
Oh.
But I think that there's a better way. Vince has been very successful handling it the way he has. But the fact of the matter is, times change, and we now are in changing times. COVID has created situations that you and I never expected to see.
That's for sure.
Office buildings in New York, they're canceling their leases. Why? People are working at home. Corporations are finding out it's more cost effective, and they hold 2 meetings a month. Don't need the office space anymore. We're in a different world, a different time. COVID has proved that. I think somewhere down the line, the world of professional wrestling is going to change in terms of how they do business. I like the Screen Actors Guild. Vince McMahon was the man behind the curtain. He's the one that went like this and said, no, it's not sports, it's sports entertainment. Well, why? So I could save a buck here and save a buck there. Well, now it is entertainment. Why not let them go into the Screen Actors Guild?
And here's the thing, Johnny. It's all based upon what I would look at as greed. If they did not make waves by trying to go after the talent for using Twitch and Cameo and platforms like that on their time off, I don't know if we're even having this discussion right now.
I would think
I
you're
don't
right.
know if you would have rocked the boat of former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang, who now that Joe Biden is president, you know, he could have a very influential spot in Washington. And he has said in multiple different interviews after Zelina Vega's release, he tweeted, I am paraphrasing it, but I haven't forgotten about Vince McMahon. He did a radio interview where he explicitly said Vince McMahon is fucking greedy. So is this a guy you want as a mover and a shaker in Washington, D.C., eyeing the movements of your company? If I am Vince McMahon, I would not want that.
Well,
And I think it was avoidable.
I do think it was avoidable. I think Yang now has a point to prove. He'll prove it. He has as much money, if not more, than McMahon. So now it's going to be the battle of billionaires. Let's see who wins. And I think, I hate to say this, but with the current situation, with the current administration coming in, we're headed for different times, bad times, good times, who knows. But I think it's going to be completely different from what we're used to in the United States of America. And I said it before and I'll say it again. There is no use, in my book, for a Republican Party or a Democratic Party. It's not time to separate. It's time to cooperate. It's time to bring this country together. It's time for us to be united as one nation under God,
Indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, that almost sounded like the end of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when the
Oh,
Santa Claus shot into the...
I just say it like it is.
But, Johnny, I'll ask you this. You talk about difficult, maybe not difficult isn't the word, but maybe uncomfortable work environment now for WWE superstar Aleister Black, who is married to Zelina Vega, who just had his wife ousted from the same company that he worked in with her. If you're Aleister, would you feel a little awkward going to work? Would you be walking on eggshells going to work if you were Aleister, or would it not bother you?
My answer is no.
Well, I asked three questions, but
I'll answer them all.
all right.
Well, first of all, you said, is it awkward? Would you be walking on eggshells? The answer is no, no, and no to all three
all of
questions.
them. Okay.
Because why? Let's look at Renee Young, and let's look at Moakley over at AEW, right?
Moxley.
Yeah, good old Moxley. So what's the difference? What is the difference? The fact of the matter is...
Well, Dean Ambrose wasn't released. He left at the end of his contract. They wanted to keep Ambrose. They ousted Vega.
But stop and think about this. They ousted her because she voiced her opinion. You and I can talk about two things. We can agree to disagree and still be friends. The difference with the situation we're talking about is she's under a banner called WWE. The U word is not to be spoken. If that's the rule, then you just broke the rule. So every person in this country, male and female, has a right to an opinion. Now, I can respect that, or I can be like they are and say, I respect your opinion, but there's the door. Am I going to jeopardize my income because my spouse, my mate, my companion voiced his or her opinion? No. I'm happy where I am. I'm playing by the rules. So I don't see any walking on eggshells, be careful. You know what? Don't be afraid. This is what's wrong with this world. Don't be afraid. You know what? You get kicked in the ass sometimes, turn around and boot back. Don't be afraid. Why? I'm going to lose my job. Is that the end of the world? Maybe it's a message. Maybe you didn't belong there anyway.
Well, it's an interesting point of view, but I ask you this, Johnny. Alistair Black, certainly someone that 2020 has been almost a lost year with the creative that has been presented to him.
Nothing.
He had a big win over Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania that was all but forgotten about. I don't think he's done much of anything since other than a small little program with Kevin Owens. I wonder what the future, though, may be of the individual that foreshadowed all of this union talk, that being an individual that has been sitting at home with a broken neck named Paige. She was the first to tweet that she was interested in learning about unions and so on and so forth. And Zelina Vega initially responded to her union tweet with great interest, which eventually, several weeks later, we have Zelina Vega released. Would WWE go to the length of releasing Paige while she's at home with a broken neck suffered in their ring, even if she uses the U word?
My answer? Yes.
Really?
Yes. I would have no hesitation about picking the phone up and say you're fired. I would, absolutely. They should have released her when the videos came out. They should have released her when she had the situations and she was not with them, basically, when she had all these situations with Del Rio. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff coming down here. You know what? Paige, basically, I think right now, gone.
Well, that movie pretty much saved her career.
That's why The Rock did it.
If they didn't have that movie coming out about her and her family, I think she would have been gone when the photos came out of the NXT Women's Championship belt that's used at meet and greets was soiled, so to speak. Never
Dripped upon.
used as a napkin, so
There
to
you
speak.
go.
And
Whatever you wanna say.
we're not talking about after a fine meal either.
Disgraceful for all three people. I'm not going to throw the stone at one woman. There were two guys involved in it, weren't they? Two guys.
Well, as far as the photos of the soiling of the NXT Championship belt, there was no one knows who the man was. But there were videos of her and different partners in WWE, yes.
Then you know what? If I were Vince, it would have been a big broom with a big sweep.
You would have got rid of all of them.
You bet your ass I would.
Can you really control? I've never really looked at a talent contract that in depth, but I mean, there has to be some kind of a clause in there as far as bringing embarrassment and disgrace to the company.
Thank you.
But at the same time, they are human beings. They are independent contractors. If they want to make these sexual videos on their own time. You know, Seth Rollins had photos leaked from an ex-girlfriend of him taking photos of his manhood. So certainly...
Why do I do this? Vince, I'm sorry.
She's not the only one. But like you said, you would have swept the house clean.
I would have. You know what? I guess I'm a lot different than other people. I tolerate a lot. But when you degrade the company that feeds you, when you bring down the institution that you should be supporting by doing what you've done. Look, if they did it without the belt, that's their business. Once you
If she was soiled alone without the belt involved.
You know what? That's their business.
Yeah.
Rollins did his little thing. That's his business. But as soon as you bring my trademark, my business
that you bring
into
to have
your
kids to
bedroom,
take their picture with.
Well, then that's when the ball drops.
Yeah.
It's over,
Literally.
kid. It's over, kid. And you know what? Maybe, and I'm sorry I missed the show where Paige broke her neck. and I'm very, very sorry to hear that. She's a quite talented young lady, but I think her days in the ring are over. I think her days with WWE are numbered.
But I'll say this, you know what? Forget about my human point of view. From a business point of view, if I'm her and I'm sitting at home collecting 6 figures a year,
doing nothing.
Would I want to be the one to rock the boat about unions?
No.
Exactly.
No.
It's like what Tony said this past Tuesday on Wrestling Insiders at Your House. For it to really gain steam outside of someone like Andrew Yang, it needs to be someone higher up the food chain than someone that's as expendable as a Paige or a Zelina Vega, that if they're gone after a week or two, you're not even going to notice.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's like the Bellas. Who cares about the Bellas anymore?
Did you see the interview that they want to come back to win the women's tag team
If Vince
titles?
lets them back to do that, they're all on, you know what, Coca-Cola and Pop Rocks. Please, it's over. It's done. It's finished.
I don't understand what people see in them. Are they attractive ladies? Yes. Personally, I don't know them. I've heard some very interesting secondhand stories, but they bring nothing to the plate of appeal of what a professional wrestling show is all about. What they do does not look believable. Their interviews are not believable. They sound like two robots.
Who's daddy?
Huh?
Who's daddy?
Who's daddy?
Who's their daddy?
It was almost you at one point.
No. Wrong. No.
Now, what do you mean, who's
their
daddy?
stepfather right now?
Oh, Johnny Ace, yeah.
Oh, what does he do for a living?
Well, he's a road agent.
Oh.
Or producer, I'm sorry. They don't use the agent word
Well, you know
anymore.
what? I'm not saying there's any pull there, but I think that even he's smart enough.
Well,
and I have a lot of respect for him, by the way.
Me too.
Great respect for that man.
Even that they've continued to do this boring, fake, forced reality show. I don't understand the mindset of anyone that would. Maybe it's escapism from the real world. I don't know.
Do you know what
but
it is?
There's just nothing real about that. As I'm sure you know, there is nothing real about that reality show at all, and it continues to live on. And I do not understand why, other than they married well.
Well, here's the deal. The deal is they can't accept the fact that it's over. They can't accept the fact that it's over. And I keep saying that. It is over. Move on. Move on. You know, Bree's got Daniel, and Nikki has the
dancer. I don't know his name.
Man, no, I'm sorry, I don't either. But I don't think they're married. Are they married?
I don't think
No.
so.
They have a wonderful son, I believe.
I'm sure they'll get a free
They have a
wedding out of
son?
the reality show.
They have a son?
They both had. I'm not sure of the gender, but they both had babies.
So you know what? I think that God's given you a lot of gifts. You've got what you both
They
have
really
gotten what you
lucked out.
wanted. You had a tremendous run in WWE. You had a tremendous run with your reality shows. You had some failures with your clothing line, your wine line. It didn't work out. You know what? Move on. Move on. Life is all about a journey. This page is over. Start the next chapter. Bellas, move on. It's over. It's done. It's time for somebody else to come in and do it. And you know what? Even the enthusiasm isn't there when you say you want to come back and take the women's tag titles.
You know, Johnny, I picture maybe some of the worst in-ring wrestling we've seen in quite some time if it actually came to fruition. But they had said before the pregnancy, they had talked about coming back to work a women's tag team title feud with the Iconics.
That's like me getting in the ring with Randy Orton again. Let's be real here. I don't hold a candle to Randy Orton. I don't hold a candle to Hornswoggle. Let me tell you something, folks. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't do what you're not supposed to do. It'll be bad. It will be embarrassing for the WWE, the Bellas, and everyone. Look, I just try to call what I see real. This is not good for business.
Well, and Johnny, before we go, we know that at one point there were rumors that you had maybe an eye for Mama Bella, and maybe Mama Bella had an eye for you, and it almost led to a fist fight at WrestleMania 31 out in San Jose,
God, I tell you.
with the former Father Bella. But Johnny, I got an email from an article that was in one of the, I guess you'd call it a dirt sheet, But apparently, I know you're with several lovely ladies now, with one special one in particular. But before this relationship,
Moniz?
yes, before this relationship, when you were a single man, that you apparently had relations, to be politically correct, with Margot Ouellette.
Who?
Margot.
Margot?
Yes, from the Ms. and Mrs. reality TV series.
Wow.
Now, is that true?
No.
You've never had a French woman.
No. I never had a relationship with that woman never, never.
But you and Margot have never got physical.
No Margot would go, no go with Margot, no.
If you were a single man, would you go for Margot? Now, wouldn't it be interesting to see you on the Ms. and Mrs. reality show with Margot at the Mrs. house all of a sudden? I think that would be, I'd watch that.
Well, here you go, folks. Send it in. Maybe I'll be on TV.
Now, just think of that, what that reality show would look like. You'd have the Miz and Maurice. You'd have his father, I think his name is George, who gets involved in WWE scenario.
He's okay.
He's no John Cena Senior, though.
No, but he's a hot ticket. I love those. I love his mother and father.
And I don't know if his folks are still married or not, but the mother is at that home. Then you have Margot going for John Cena Sr. Like at to end an episode, they open the door, Margot, we need you for a minute with the baby. And they open the door, and you and Margot are in the bed.
Folks, I don't know what's in his coffee or his Fabo pot. I think he wakes up nights. All I know is, just don't even listen.
So for the Dave Meltzers of the world, there's been no
Dave
romance?
Meltzers.
Honestly, I don't remember what website it was on, but for the reporter that put it out there has been no romance between you and Margot Ouellette.
Boy, I don't even know where this is going, but it's not going in a good place. So, answer is no.
You could put
never
that in more ways
never
than
will.
one. All right.
I'm sorry. No. Even WrestleMania 31, no. That was just a friendly hello, goodbye, and it's over.
You wouldn't give Margot a friendly hello with a wink? All right.
There are a lot of fish in the water. I just think you got to be selective.
You need to go to a different lake, I guess.
Sure.
All right, wrestling fans, boy, do we have some fun on this show. We talked a little farewell to The Undertaker. We talked a little unionization. We talked a little releasing of Zelina Vega. And we talk about, I don't know, do you believe John Cena Sr. about this romance that was written about online? I believe him, but you never know in this day and age.
I haven't seen it. I'd like to see it.
When I go home, I'm going to forward you the link that I have.
Please, I'd like to see that.
There was no picture, though. If there was a picture, I probably would have fell on the floor.
I'm waiting.
All right. Well, for Margot Ouellette's love interest, or former love interest, Mr. John Cena Sr., I'm Marty. We'll see you next Friday night on Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Enjoy your holiday weekend, folks. Good night.
Wrestling fans, the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fanfest explodes into Christmas with interactive cyber autograph signings, live interviews, raffles, merchandise, and more. We were excited to bring you a wrestling event here in Boston, but we have the ability to bring a Cyber Fanfest to great fans like you around the world. Recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Leo Rush kicked off the drive with autographed photos and posters still for sale online. Let's run down the list of remaining cyber autograph signings where you can get an autograph photo for yourself or to give to a friend or a loved one this holiday. Mail order for your items is also available. On Survivor Series Sunday, November the 22nd, Marty Jannetty will be with us live for a cyber autograph signing during the Farewell to the Undertaker. You never know what to expect with Marty in studio live. We're back Friday, December the 4th with the veteran former Nation of Domination member Zelina Vega, a.k.a. Quang, making a rare appearance in Boston. Things are going to get nasty on Saturday, December the 5th when Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs, the Nasty Boys, join us for the very first time. A great chance to get the former WWE and WCW Tag Team Champions signed. Sunday night, December the 6th, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas returns for a Cyber Christmas Christmas party during our NXT TakeOver watch-along. Tony will be signing autographs and will also have his art available for purchase. The following Friday, December the 11th, one of the most powerful superstars in wrestling history, the Warlord, joins us live in studio discussing his WWF run beginning in 1988. Saturday, December the 12th, the superstar undefeated for 2 years in the WWF, Native American Tatanka, will be with us supporting the toy drive. Then on Sunday, December the 13th, it's a double feature of future star superstars as recent Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament competitor Wheeler Yuta joins us in studio for the first time after competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF, along with the man visiting us for the first time in 8 years, the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann. And it wouldn't be Christmas without old John Cena Sr. with us live and in person as he's been working the phones on the North Pole. Again, autographs and all-inclusive VIP packages are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Help our tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home this year while creating smiles and honoring the late, great Paul Bearer's memory. From our family to yours, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.